Welcome to Familycore, your favorite family show that talks about everything around the family. We've been talking about COVID-19. Now we want to talk about COVID-19 protocols. What are COVID-19 protocols? I'm sure you've been hearing about this. I have an expert in the studio who is going to take this. After the break, I'll introduce her. Don't go away. Welcome back. Still Familycore, your favorite TV show, and today we're talking about COVID-19 protocols. I have Professor Kumbi Banjo in the studio. She's an erudite scholar. She's a professor of anatomic and molecular pathology. Professor Banjo, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Yes, COVID-19 protocols. What are COVID-19 protocols?
There are protocols that have been put in place to protect us and the society and limit our ability to pick up the coronavirus. They're very basic things, such as social distancing, keeping a minimum of 6 meters, 6 feet from one another, avoiding crowded public spaces, and limiting our outings to very important ones. Frequent hand washing, and when there's no water is not available, the use of alcohol-based sanitizer. Protocols that includes the use of tissue paper that we can discard when coughing and when sneezing. We're to avoid sneezing into handkerchiefs, because handkerchiefs, the virus will stay there and can contaminate surfaces. Frequent and constant wiping of surfaces that a lot of people come into contact with. Like in the homes, for example, the doorknobs, dining tables, taps, sinks that a lot of people use. And then also wiping clean of all the floor. So those are some of the protocols that have been put in place to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Okay, I want to pick one of these protocols. Hand washing. What is the essence of hand washing?
Well, the virus is supposed to be an RNA virus that has a lipid coat that when you use soap and water to wash, it disrupts the coat of the virus and makes it weak and unable to infect people. It's about the cheapest means of protecting ourselves from the virus. But the hand washing has to be done in a specific way. It has to be done with running water. That's the best thing. With soap. And for a minimum of 20 seconds. If you can do 40 seconds, making sure that there's a proper foam, it's good. But 20 seconds will still be okay. So
when I wash my hands now, if I've mistakenly touched something that is infected by the virus, and I wash my hand, I will have gotten rid of the virus. So if I touch my face for any reason, I'm not likely to pick it up. If you've done proper hand washing. And another protocol that we also should have mentioned is avoiding touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth with your hands. Because sometimes without realizing it, you could have placed your hand on something in between washing, and you can now contaminate those surfaces, which are the areas through which the virus gains access into the body. Now, this is the new normal, and face masking is not so easy. And people even stigmatize some people that wear face masks. How does face mask help to prevent this spread?
Face mask is it's very good in the sense that it protects you, the person wearing the face mask, and the person that is with you in a room. For example, when you wear the right kind of face mask, when you're talking, each time we talk or we sneeze, we cough, some of the particles of the virus are released from our mouth, our nose. So when you wear a face mask, it limits the distance across which the the droplets released from your mouth, from your nose is spread. So it limits the distance and therefore protects the person that is in the room with you. So wearing a face mask really is to protect those that are around you more than it protects you. You are protecting those that are around you. You go to public places and you're wearing a face mask and they're embarrassing you about why you're wearing a face mask. So you need to tell them that apart from trying to protect myself, it's mainly to protect you should in case I have the virus and I don't know.
Okay, we'll go on break now. When we come back, we continue from there. Yeah, it's been Familycore, and we've been discussing COVID-19 protocols. And I've been talking with Professor Kumbi Banjo. After this time out, we'll take it from there. Don't go away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to see the MD.
Oh, you can have your seat. Okay, wait, young man. Hey, now wow, this is your nose mask. Sef. Why do you think you have to wear it?
I don't even know. I don't know the essence. They just said we should be wearing nose mask. It's very uncomfortable.
Okay. Have you heard of coronavirus, COVID-19?
And so they call it corona pandemic. It's not for people like us. It's not a black man disease.
Really?
Yes.
And have you heard of the people it has killed in Nigeria?
Oh, now something else killed them. They just indicated coronavirus.
Okay, wait. Before you see the MD, please wear it properly like this. The way I'm putting on my own. Just wear it. Yeah. Okay. Have your seat. Hey, young man, MDs are where you are around, so we'll get in touch with you soon. Bros, what's that your name? It be like say you know the year word, eh? Stubborn flight don't follow your master go grave. See, I go send you go back home before you come cover us for a year.
What's happened again? Maybe I don't wear them.
That's not the proper way to wear it. I think I talked to you a while ago. It's to prevent you from getting the virus and prevent others in case you have it.
I don't tell you say I know if you get them. I be proper African man. No be our sickness.
See, you want they do agidi abi? No talk say I don't want you. No talk say I don't want you.
Na your wahala be that. I don't wear them.
They come.
Welcome back. It's still Familycore, and we are discussing COVID-19 protocols with Professor Kumbi Banjo. Now, Prof, we talked about face mask. Is it possible for me, sometimes, particularly now that there was a time the numbers were dropping and then it surged again. Now it seems like maybe it's dropping again and I rushed out of the house. I forgot to take my face mask. If I have my handkerchief in the pocket, can it serve the purpose or can I find something else to use?
Well, an handkerchief can serve the purpose if you double it up and use. But it's, however, not as effective as using the proper face mask. Yes, when we're in situations where we don't have anything, we can use our handkerchiefs, we can use our scarves, particularly for women that wear native, there's always an extra scarf. You can use that to cover and protect yourself. But my best advice is, if you don't have the proper thing to go out with, it's better you go back home.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the protocols around traveling. What has the government put in place? People are traveling in and out of the country. What is supposed to be the practice to prevent the spread?
The practice now is that people that are coming in, they get a COVID test done before they fly. And once they enter the country, they're supposed to isolate for 10 days. And after that, they're going to get another COVID test done to see that they're okay. But unfortunately, not everyone is obeying the protocols. A few weeks ago, I think the government released the number of names of passport of those that violated the protocols. I think as a group of people, we're very loving, we're very caring, but sometimes we can be a little bit selfish and self-centered. We have to think about these protocols are put there not to inconvenience us, but to protect the generality of the public from COVID. For a lot of people, the COVID might be a very mild infection. But for some people, it's a very severe infection that results in loss of life. You cannot say who is going to die from COVID. You see some really young, healthy people get the succumb to COVID, and you see very elderly people. We have a report of a 101-year-old lady that survived COVID. So you cannot say. So if we should all think, do I want to be the cause of death of somebody? Do I want to be responsible? And if you believe you don't want to be, you don't want to have that psychological effect of being the one that caused somebody's death, it's important that we all obey the protocols. The same protocols for those that are going out of the country. You have to do a test in Nigeria within 72 hours before you travel. And then some countries now, because of what what people are doing, are now insisting that your isolation is not, they're not leaving you to go and isolate. They're actually asking you to pay money to be isolated in hotels that they have identified, and you feed yourself. So if all of us are started off by doing the right thing, we won't be in this situation where a few people are paying, or some people, many people are paying for the failure of a few people to have done the right thing.
Okay, ma. As a member of the board of Fajim Medicare Foundation, what have been your contribution or your activities to stem the tide of this pandemic?
Yes. Thank you very much. Fajim Medicare Foundation is an NGO that was set up to enlighten people about the various health challenges that we have in Nigeria, to educate, to enlighten, to carry out some health checks for identified groups of people that we believe might not have access to quality health care. And also, we sponsor students through the tertiary institutions, students that are in the medical field. During this pandemic, we've had some awareness campaigns. We've distributed some sanitizers, face masks, and face shields to communities where we believe they might not have access to this. And we're also now currently through this program trying to increase the reach of awareness to the populace through this program.
Prof, looking at these COVID-19 protocols, how compliant have we been in Nigeria? How realistic are these protocols?
The protocols are realistic. They're not too difficult. But how compliant we are in Nigeria, it's very obvious from what we can see on the streets that Nigerians are not complying with the protocols. And that is the reason why we had an increase in the number of cases that we experienced early this year. A lot of people feel insulted when you ask them to adhere to protocols. Simple things as hand washing. I'm just going to give you my own example, for example. I'm going to give my example. I live with my elderly mother, right? She's 99. And it was important for me that nobody should bring COVID into the house. So my neighbors usually come in to play with her. But I had to explain to them that because of this illness, I would like you to please limit coming to play with her. I'm not saying you have COVID or you don't have COVID, but I don't want to take a risk. A lot of my neighbors were very happy to comply. They will phone and talk to her on the phone. But a few people felt insulted, you know, because before you enter, you have to wash your hands, use sanitizer, and they felt that it was taken overboard because they felt that they were not carriers of COVID, and it was an insult to them. You know, so there are those challenges to get in, even within the family, to get people to comply. But it's important. The final decision rests with you as a person, You have to set your own boundaries, and you need to communicate your boundaries clearly to the family, your neighbors, and all that. Yes, some will feel offended, but if you put it to them in a way that they can understand, majority of them will comply with you. The responsibility to protect yourself lies with you, and you should not be afraid of upsetting anybody to protect yourself and your family from COVID.
Thank you so much, Professor Kumbi Banjo. We are very grateful that you came to the
It's
studio.
it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And we're hoping that next time we need you, you would still be able to avail us of some of your tight schedule.
Thank you.
Yes, it's been Familycore. And we'll be discussing COVID-19 protocols with Professor Kumbi Banjo. It's been interesting for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you. So please join us in the next segment. Don't go away.
The non-pharmacological protocols everybody has been talking about since the advent of this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. We can't afford not to talk about it and emphasizing it. But at the same time, the mental health sequelae associated with it too is very important for us to talk about it, in the sense that these protocols, which include using of face mask, regularly washing of hands for at least 20 seconds, and then using of hand sanitizer, that's alcohol-based hand sanitizer. These are very important. Even without the pandemic, there are forms of personal hygiene that everybody is advised to observe. But with the advent of this pandemic, people have not been observing it. And the reason is not far-fetched. Some of them are living in denial. And when people are living in denial is a form of mental health issue. They are living in denial that there's nothing like COVID-19. Don't mind them, no coronavirus here. And so to the extent that if they see you using face masks, they're looking at you in a strange way that, where are you coming from? They say, you are coming from Lagos. That's center of excellence, center of the pandemic. So they see you as an aberration. They see you as a variant of people that could have come with the virus. So because of this, they have fear of interacting with you, but at the same time, they don't want to observe this protocol themselves. Don't want to observe it. Also, I want us to also take note. So there are some of our people who have the tendency of having obsession, having obsessive compulsive disorder. This may include a ritual washing of hands. So with this non-pharmacological approach to the prevention of the spreading of the virus, some of them are even hiding under this finger to carry out the traits they've been having before. I know some people, even after talking to you, after even maintaining distance, social distance, talking to you, you see them going straight to go and wash their hands as if it is their hands they used in interacting with you. It's good, but at the same time, too much of everything is not good. So where is now the borderline? Where is the borderline? Because there is a thin line between sanity and insanity. So my own advice is that everything should be done in moderate proportion. And you must have a tangible reason as a scientist for the reason, because everybody is a scientist now. In a time like this, everybody is expected to be a scientist. You must have a tangible reason for everything you do. If you don't have a reason for whatever you do, that means you may not likely observe it beyond what people have told you about. So in this sense, try as much as possible to do these things in proportion. And when you are interacting with people, don't have it at the back of your mind that the person, you may be thinking that the person may be positive, but at the same time, the fear of the person being positive should be relegated to the background, because once you have fear, anxiety will come in. And when anxiety comes in, so many issues, so many other forms of mental illness could be a sequelae of this.
Welcome back. It's been Familycore, your favorite TV show that talks about everything around the family. We've been talking about COVID-19 protocols, and I'm sure you've enjoyed the program so far. You've enjoyed other segments too. And I'm hoping that you'll keep keeping safe, observing the protocols. Till I come your way again, I remain Dr. Olajobi. Bye.